From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN 530 News.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us on your Monday. I'm Jeanelle Slade. Another fatal shooting here in Billings. Now, one man is dead after the early morning shooting in the Billings Heights, but 12 hours later, still no new information on what led to the shooting or any suspects. The detectives were on scene much of the day. Around 4:30 a.m., police responded to the 300 block of Nash Lane and rushed a 43-year-old man with gunshot wounds to the hospital. He was later pronounced dead. Now, officers say there is no threat to the public and all parties are accounted for. Lieutenant Brandon Woolley says he will meet with detectives tomorrow and release more details after that. A Billings woman now faces a number of felony charges in a DUI crash that left her young son dead and another one of her children seriously injured. The charges against 30-year-old Kaylee Mullendore came nearly 10 months after the wreck in West Billings. Mullendore is charged with vehicular homicide under the influence, negligent vehicular assault, 4 counts of felony criminal endangerment, and driving with a suspended or revoked license. Now, court records state Mullendore, with 3 children on board, took off at a high speed after her car was rear-ended at the scene of another accident last November. She's accused of then crashing head-on into another vehicle in the area of 32nd and Gable. Her 5-year-old son died just days after the crash. Her daughter spent 2 months in the hospital and has undergone numerous procedures since. Mullendore claimed she was disoriented or incapacitated by the rear-end collision and had no knowledge of what happened. She faces up to 30 years in prison on the most serious charge. A former Billings school bus driver faces up to 20 years in prison and $100,000 in fines after he drove 28 middle school students to school last Thursday while allegedly high on drugs. 46-year-old Keith Jones pleaded not guilty to 2 counts of criminal endangerment and 1 count of driving under the influence in Yellowstone County District Court this morning. Now, police arrested Jones last Thursday morning after students on the bus going to Ben Steele Middle School alerted parents and teachers that Jones was driving erratically, twitching and slumping over the steering wheel. Court documents state when arrested, Jones admitted he was carrying around a vial of urine to pass a drug test later that day. Well, wearing seatbelts saves lives. This morning, another reminder after a Montana hunter took out an elk with his truck. Montana Highway Patrol tells MTN News the man was traveling southbound on U.S. Highway 287 just north of Wolf Creek. The vehicle hit a 6-point elk at highway speeds. Now, the truck rolled 3 to 4 times. The impact killed the animal. The hunter escaped with a broken arm and a few other minor injuries, but Trooper Amanda Vila says it could have been a lot worse.
If you look at the photo when it was flipped over, you can see, if you look at the driver's compartment, there's plenty of room to survive, which is how those compartments are designed. Typically in a rollover event like that, when somebody's not restrained, they'll be ejected from the vehicle and more often than not suffer critical or fatal injuries.
Now, this time of year is common for animal collisions, and authorities ask people to take extra care while driving in the mornings and in the evening hours. Well, 3 more COVID-19 related deaths across Montana reported this Monday. 2 Yellowstone County women in their 60s died on Saturday, the 12th and 13th Yellowstone County deaths this month. Now, the state reports the 3rd victim to die of COVID-related illness is from Marr County. So far, 160 people have died across Montana and more than 2,400 people are currently infected. Well, nearly 800 of those confirmed cases are here in Yellowstone County. The Unified Health Command recently updated its dashboard showing 3 of 8 categories for COVID-19 response have gone red. Now, this means that operations are under stress or the county is facing critical concerns. Among the 3 now in red, health department capacity, case investigations, and regional impact. Now, the areas nearing the danger zone include testing capacity, healthcare system capacity, daily case average, and positive COVID-19 test rates. Well, tonight the Billings School Board will get a COVID-19 update and learn the impact on our local schools. Yellowstone County Health Officer John Felton will brief trustees on the community impact, while Superintendent Greg Upham will deliver the update on our schools. Now, the meeting was shifted back to a virtual format for the first time in more than a month after one trustee may have been exposed to COVID-19. Well, the school board meeting got underway at 5:30, so tune in tonight at 10 o'clock for a recap. Well, U.S. Senator Steve Daines says the Senate should move quickly to confirm President Trump's nominee to fill the Supreme Court vacancy created by Friday's death of Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. But as MTN's Mike Dennison reports, Daines felt differently in 2016 when Barack Obama had a chance to fill a vacancy during an election year.
In 2016, when conservative U.S. Supreme Court Justice Antonin Scalia unexpectedly died, the Republican majority in the U.S. Senate refused to consider President Obama's nominee to fill that vacancy. GOP senators, including Senator Daines, said a vacancy should not be filled during an election year. Here's Senator Daines speaking on MTN's Face the State in February 2016.
I don't think it's right to bring a nominee forward in an election year, and given the people of this country have started to vote already, to put a nominee in the middle of that kind of very hyper-politicized environment, I do not think is right for the institution. And frankly, let the people speak, and we'll move forward in January 2017.
Now, in the wake of Ginsburg's death, 46 days before the election, Daines is saying the GOP-controlled Senate should vote promptly on Trump's nominee to replace her. That vote would create a 6-3 conservative majority on the high court that could last for a generation or more. Daines said if the Senate waits and Democrat Joe Biden is elected president, Biden would choose a Supreme Court nominee who is, quote, a liberal activist judge who will threaten our Montana way of life, end quote. Daines is up for re-election this year. His Democratic challenger, Governor Steve Bullock, says the Senate should wait until the inauguration of the next president before filling Ginsburg's seat, just like they did in 2016. Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell, however, says that's not going to happen. Daines said 4 years ago that blocking an Obama nominee was part of his job representing Montana. But he also said he would apply the election year principle regardless of the president's party. Now, would you be taking this position if the president was a Republican?
I would.
Reporting from Helena, Mike Dennison, MTN News.
Thanks, Mike. And U.S. Senator John Tester also said 4 years ago that the Senate should act on nominees during an election year. Now he says they should not, but that he's merely asking for Republicans to apply the same standard they applied in 2016. Well, the Wyoming Senators also weighing in with their thoughts. Republican Senator Mike Enzi believes President Trump should move forward with the nomination. He says a vacancy under divided government during an election year hasn't been filled in more than 130 years. I supported upholding that precedent in 2016, but we are not in a divided government now, and the Senate has confirmed multiple judges in similar situations in the past. Senator John Barrasso agreed with that sentiment on Meet the Press yesterday, saying when you have both parties in the White House and the Senate, historically, the confirmation goes forward, and that's what's going to happen here. The Senate will be back in session, and the president is going to make a nomination. Up next on tonight's 5:30 news, 'tis the season of giving. Well, at least if you're a state employee. The state giving campaign kicked off this week, but it looks a little different this year. We'll show you. And in sports, Scott has reaction from both Grizz basketball teams on the new start date for college basketball.
And coming up in weather, what's missing from this picture? It's the smoke. It's not nearly as thick as it has been. Will any of it come back? We'll have the answer coming up in a few more minutes.